morning, guys. Today we're going to talk about safety protocols. What is a safety protocol? That's something that is an official list of procedures or rules intended to keep you safe. In this case, we're talking about safety in the pandemic, trying to keep us safe from COVID-19. As we go through these, none of them are going to sound brand new to you, but they will feel a little bit strange, and they'll take some getting used to. There are four main safety protocols we're going to go through. Number one is pre-screening. Number two is wearing masks. Number three is distancing, and number four, staying clean. The first one is pre-screening. This is paying attention to how you're feeling and how the people around you are feeling before you even come to school. Is someone near you sick? Has someone near you been diagnosed with COVID-19? Are you sick? These are things that you need to think about before you even step foot on campus. Each morning, all of the teachers and staff at the school are screening themselves. They're checking to see if they're sick or if they've been exposed to somebody, and they're logging in to an online pre-screening portal to record this information. Every morning. Your parents are going to need to do the same thing, logging in each morning to check to say whether you have been exposed or if you are experiencing symptoms before you come to campus. We don't want anyone coming to campus that might be sick or might be bringing the virus with them. The four most important parts of the pre-screening are the fever. Do you have a fever or have you had a fever? You can't just have a fever and then take some medicine to make the fever go away. If you've had a fever at all, you're staying home. Do you have a sore throat? If you have a sore throat, you really shouldn't be coming to school. Do you have a new cough? We're not talking about allergies. If you already have allergies, that's different. But we're talking about a new cough that might be a symptom of COVID-19. Do you have diarrhea or vomiting? That's another good reason to stay home. A severe headache could be another reason also, accompanied by one of the other symptoms. Stay home. Does someone in your household have COVID-19? If so, you need to stay away for at least 14 days. There's different categories of symptoms we're looking at. Let's start with the low-risk symptoms. Do you have a fever? Do you have a sore throat? Do you have congestion or a runny nose? Do you have a headache? Do you have any nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, even strange fatigue, no energy, body aches, things like that? These are all low-risk symptoms, which could be an indication of COVID-19 or it could be something else. But either way, you're going to watch for these and you're going to count them. If you have one of these, you need to stay home for at least 72 hours. There are three high-risk symptoms. Number one, having a cough. A cough that isn't a normal allergy cough. Maybe you're used to having a cough with your allergies, but a cough that is not typical for you is something that is concerning. That could be an infection of your lung. Difficulty breathing, having trouble getting those breaths could also be an indication of an infection in your lungs. And then there's the strange one, the loss of taste or smell. This is associated with COVID-19, and this could be an indication that COVID-19 has infected parts of your nervous system. These three symptoms, any one of them indicates that you need to go see a doctor right away. Why are we doing pre-screening? We're doing this because we want to stay open. We want our schools to be able to stay open. Once somebody is exposed to COVID-19 in the classroom, then everyone has to quarantine, and we don't want to do that. We want to be able to keep going once we go back to the classroom. Our second safety protocol is masks. Wear your masks at all times while you're on campus. How you wear your mask is important too. It needs to go over the nose. You need to pinch the bridge. If you've got a little wire piece in there, you pinch it so that it goes down. You're trying to form a seal all the way around your mouth to keep the air going through the mask and not through the outer area. You need to wear your mask at all times when you're on campus. Some people are asking, do I need to wear it even when I'm not near other people? But you're going to be near other people most of the time. One mask is good, two masks is even better. I know you're worried about being able to last during the school day wearing a mask for all of those hours, but trust me, people work 8-hour shifts wearing masks. You can do it for 3. Masks need to be a real mask, 2 layers minimum. It can't be a gaiter, just 1 layer. Not a bandana, not pulling your shirt up. A face shield is good too if you want to bring one of those. Why are we wearing masks? Because it works. The virus is spread through those water droplets in our breath when we talk and breathe, and the mask is going to slow down those droplets from getting out of your mask, and they're going to be caught in the fibers of the mask. Our third safety protocol is social distancing, staying far apart from people. Minimum of 6 feet. This is what you want to think about. Here's a ruler, 12 inches long, 1 foot. What is 6 feet from you and another person? Well, if you can stick out your arm arms and you measure your arms from your neck to your fingertips, how far is that? For me, 1 to about 2.5 feet. So if somebody who is my size stretches out their arms and touches fingertips with somebody else who's my size, and we add up that 2.5 feet plus 2.5 feet, that's only 5 feet distance. So you need even further than that. So if you are even close to being able to reach out fingers and touch somebody else, you need to step back and move away. Your desks in the classroom are not 6 feet apart. You are 6 feet apart. So what you need to do, you need to be aware of how close you are to somebody and not lean from one side to the other. You're trying to stay as far away from people as possible. So you need to be aware of how close you are at some times. And sometimes that means that while somebody's coming by, you're going to step back or lean away to make sure that you're maintaining that 6 foot distance. Why are we staying distant? We're staying distant because it works. Staying distant means that our masks are great, but they do not work 100%. They do not contain all of the particles, and some people's masks fit better than others. So if those particles are somehow going to escape out of sides of our mask, those particles are in the air. The further we are physically away from those people, that means it gives it more chance for those water particles to spread out, to attach to other things, to fall on the ground, and not get into our air passageways. The more we can do to avoid breathing them in, the better. Our fourth safety protocol is hygiene, staying clean to stay healthy. There are two main ways that we do this. We clean and we kill. All right, let's first talk about cleaning. We clean using soap. Soap is a surfactant. Its goal mostly is to pick up the dirt particles and carry them away. Anything that's on our hands, we want it to be off of our hands. Sometimes it kills those living microorganisms, sometimes not. Sometimes it just carries them away. Sometimes it just moves it. A surfactant is like a bubble. It wraps around the particle and protects it from the water. Lipids are fats, oils, and waxes. Soap is made from lipids. Lipids are hydrophobic, which means they are afraid of water. They don't want to mix with water. You notice this when you try to mix oil and water. The oil rises to the surface because it is separating from the water. But soap also has a part of it that's attracted to oils. This part is going to stick to the oils that are on your hands when you're washing them. And the oils have probably stuck to the dirt that's on your hand. Also, the part that likes oils sticks to oils. The part that likes water sticks to water. This makes little balls called micelles. Little bits of things with the oil stay inside that ball. The micelles won't stick to each other because on the outside of that ball you have one electrical charge, and if they all have the same electrical charge, they're going to repel each other just like magnets repel each other. Soap doesn't necessarily remove everything if you don't wash well. The recommended amount of time is 20 seconds, about enough time to sing "Happy Birthday to You." Why do we wash our hands? Because we want to wipe those dirt particles away. We want those particles to go down the drain and not stay stuck to our hands. Anything that's still on our hands could still be alive and potentially dangerous. The second part of hygiene is killing the microorganism. Now, this requires a little bit more of that positive, negative electrical energy. When we use hand sanitizer, what we're really looking for is the alcohol that's in there. The alcohol has its own electrical charge, which is the opposite of the charge of the outside of living organisms. If you remember, living organisms like cells, bacteria, they are surrounded by a lipid membrane. The cell membrane is made out of lipids, and it has an opposite charge to the alcohol that is in the sanitizer. Now, when those two opposites meet, they attach to each other, and the alcohol literally rips apart that cell membrane. Now, that works for cells inside the body, but it also would work for bacterial cells. And outside of a virus, while it has a protein coat, it also has a cell membrane underneath it. It also has a lipid membrane underneath it, and that's the part that gets ripped apart by the alcohol. Certain parts of soap can do this too. So really, the best approach is making sure you wash your hands really well and use hand sanitizer. After that lipid membrane is ripped apart, the inside of the cell or bacteria or virus is vulnerable and it starts to break apart also. Electrolyzed water works much the same way. Electrolyzed water is water that has had salt added to it, but the salt, the sodium, and the chlorine that were put together have been ripped apart. But they really like each other and they want to come back to each other, but while they're ripped apart, they have opposite charges. And the part that has the positive charge is going to work really hard to rip apart any lipid membranes that it finds. To make electrolyzed water, we use electricity to rip those molecules apart. Why do we use sanitizer? Sanitizer. Why do we use sanitizer? Because it damages the outer membrane of the cell or the bacteria or the virus that we're trying to fight against. It breaks it into pieces,
killing it.
I hope this information was helpful to you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great day, guys.